Hello everybody, back here again with our vlog a day, and today is Tuesday the 20th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning, fairly decent time frame, got up and around, got the dogs out, all the good fun stuff that comes with that. Wife got off to work without issue. I was up a little bit late last night with going to Fringe, so I stayed up after that for a while to make sure the dogs got plenty of playtime outside before I put them up for the night. So didn't get the greatest sleep in the world, but it is what it is. So hang out for the day, chilling out in the morning. Wife was doing her work thing. She was planning on leaving early, so she was in early trying to get as much done as possible, and end up having a chiropractor appointment for myself up in Port Orange. And then we basically, after that, I had to run my father-in-law down to physical therapy, which started shortly after my appointment. So we had to kind of coincide those together. So went ahead and got things done around the house with the dogs and stuff. Hung out with them, got them in the hot tub for a little bit, and then got them all fed and all taken care of. It came time to run up to that, so I reached out to my father-in-law so he knew what time we were taking off. Headed up, hit the chiropractor's office at Palmer College there, and he hung out in the lobby because it's just too hot to leave my car this time of year. So went ahead, he hung out there, got done with my appointment, which ended up being a little bit of a shit show. They had canceled last week's appointment for a lot of people because they whatnot, so they're trying to double up. I think a lot of people were in there today, so we kind of were moving around from room to room trying to find the drop tables and stuff, the chiropractic adjustments and whatever and whatnot. So as we took a little longer than it should have, which did kind of annoy me a little bit, because I was like, God, I don't want to be late for the physical therapy for my father-in-law. But luckily got in and out of there, made it without any real issue. Got done at Palmer, went down, dropped him off physical therapy, had him there plenty of time. Then I headed over to the park and went for my run. And this time, instead of running south down Riverside, which I usually do, I decided to run east towards the ocean. So I ran over the Intercoastal Bridge and that, and went and looked at some of the waterways and stuff. So I ran that way, which had a little different angle of breeze going, so it was kind of nice in the run. But got done with that, got back, hung around the park there, so I wanted to stay close to the cars. When he called, we were ready to go. And I was still at the park when my wife texted me and said she was heading home. So I called her real quick. I'm like, hey, not for nothing, but we got the dog here and stuff, so we're still in this process of what we're doing. I still gotta get home and share everything. If you want to stay at work, she goes, no, I've already said I'm leaving, and I've got enough stuff wrapped up to this point that I'm gonna go ahead and head home. I said, cool. Before I hit between my chiropractic appointment and the physical therapy appointment, the dog owner who was supposed to pick the dog up on the 24th decided they were coming home early, and they end up way home early. So they wanted to pick the dog up today at 6, and I was like, well, that ain't gonna work, because we're leaving because we have plans to go to Fringe tonight with my wife's son, his girlfriend, and the two of us are going over together. So I told her, I said, hey, we're not able to pick up at 6 because we're not gonna be around, so we're not getting home till late. So we can pick up in the morning, or if you have somebody that is here locally that can drop the dog off to, kind of thing, we can do that too. They said, oh, actually, we're gonna be in town a lot quicker now. When are you leaving? And I said, well, home to leave by 4:30. And she goes, oh yeah, we'll be home before then. So we're already in Lake Ormond. I'm like, oh shit, you're gonna be home before I am by the time I get out of physical therapy. So I just reach out to you when I'm almost home from the physical therapy appointment, and then you can meet me there, get your dog back early, and we can go on. She says, that sounds great. So I was like, okay. That was kind of why she wanted to pick up at 6, and it makes sense. You're gonna be home by 4, or before 4 actually. I was like, whatever. So went out and reached out to my wife and said, hey, they're gonna pick the dog up at 6. So if you want, you can take your kid and his girlfriend over to Orlando, and I'll stay home to get the dog back. And she's like, well, I don't want to drive home in the dark. I'm like, okay, so do you want me to take your kid and his girlfriend over? Because neither one of them have driver's license. They're both late 20s, but neither one has driver's license. So, and then you can stay home and get the dog back. And she's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And I laughed. I'm like, no, that makes no sense at all. Like, what the hell? You want to spend time with your kid, not me. Like, I don't want to spend time with your kid. And she laughed. And I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like, I'll take care of it. So I'd already, at that point, reached back out, and that's when I had figured out how to do it, and they were going to be able to pick the dog up before we left. So, but I had that little moment where I said, hey, call your son, tell him that I'm taking him and his girlfriend, and you're not going, because he really don't like me, and I'm fine with that. But that's your stuff, and she wasn't brave enough to do that. So I even suggested, hey, why don't I just go pick him and his girlfriend up? You can stay home and tell him that you have to wait around for the dog to get back and see what he thinks and the look on his face. And she didn't want to do that either. So I was like, okay, you're ruining my fun here, but it is what it is. So kind of laughed at that one, but went ahead, said heck with it. Dog got picked up. I jumped in the shower, got the dog all squared away, and then we headed over to pick up her son, and she texted and said we're on the way, and they're literally where the house he's staying at is like 2 blocks from us. It's like real close. So I was like, okay, we get there, and I'm like, hey, call and let him know we're here, because he's always been bad about that. Like, we'll tell him we'll be there, like, say, like 2 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever time. We'll text him we're on our way, or ETA, we're like 10 minutes out, and then we'll be in the parking lot waiting for him when he had the apartment, him and his dad and stuff, and it'd still be there 10 minutes. And I'm like, how the hell? Because you knew we were coming from like 3 days ago. We gave you plenty of warning, like what's going on. So they finally showed up, got in the car, it's all good. We had a little cordial, hellos. First time I met the girlfriend, never met her before. And from there we headed out. We decided to grab some food at Popeyes, and I punched in the GPS location to the parking lot for Fringe, so I can just, mostly check traffic. So I'm pretty much certain I know how to get there, but you never know when traffic's gonna hit, and this will help direct me around that. So I was like, yeah, makes sense. So saw on it, we had plenty of time. We were gonna go check out all the art gallery and stuff before the show. We get to Popeyes, and I pull up the thing to order. She said, hold on, it's gonna take a minute to look at the menu, I'll be right back with you. So I said, cool. We went through, all 4 of us figured out what we wanted, had the order ready to go, and it'd been quite a while at this point. Like it's probably 7-8 minutes, which is a long time you're sitting in a drive-through. Like, it's a long time. So I spoke up, I'm like, hey, are you waiting for me or am I waiting for you? Because I want to make sure she didn't say, order when you're ready. And she goes, no, we're still busy. There's only 2 of us in here, blah, blah, whatever. And I'm like, there's only one other car ahead of us in the drive-through. And like, there's no one else behind us in the lobby. Looked empty when I drove by. So I'm like, I don't know how busy it can be, but okay. So I waited a little bit longer. And then she kind of came back and said she's ready. So we made the order. And the order, when it took way longer than it should, she was confused on what we were ordering. She got her drinks completely wrong. Was trying to charge us extra for sauces we're not supposed to have and stuff. Finally got through all that, pull up to the window, paid for the wind stuff, and then she told me to pull around to the double doors on the outside of the building and bring it out to me when it was done. And which annoys the shit out of me, because usually it takes longer. That way there's nobody else in the drive-thru behind me, nothing. There's no one behind me, so I can sit here. But the little counter sees the car there, and it'll hurt their little the bonuses, because it shows it took them 10 minutes or whatever it was to fill a drive-thru order, so they don't want that. So let me pull around. So I pull around with their stuff. I sat there for another 10 minutes, which again is way longer than it should be for drive-thru. But I'm sitting there for, like I said, 10 more minutes. 2 other cars went through the drive-thru. So I was like, okay. So, I don't know if these people were honking at, but who the hell knows? So 2 other cars went through the drive-thru, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And we didn't order anything like off menu. Like, we just ordered like a number 1 sandwich, a number 2 combo, and then 2 number 5 combos. Like, we weren't doing anything special. Like, we weren't asking for anything extra. So I was like, okay. So I finally get out. I walk in, and it's like, hey, what the heck? And I was in there waiting for somebody to talk to me. I hear one of the women in the back. There's a guy and a woman. The woman's on the phone with her friend or somebody talking about their plans for the weekend and like what they're gonna do. And it's a headset, so I mean, it's not like she's on the phone. She's got her hands free, but they're just standing back there. Don't really seem to be. They're not busting their asses. Put it that way. And I was like, holy shit, okay. And then the girlfriend walks in behind me and stands there, like walks to the counter also. I'm standing on the counter. The lady goes, if you guys are here to order, you got to order from that kiosk. Real shitty. Like, and I go, nope, I'm just here from the drive-thru and want to make sure you guys didn't forget me. There's only 2 of us. We're trying what we can. I'm like, okay, just want to make sure I went to the right door, because I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And I'm like, what the hell? So the girlfriend, I thought, had to use the bathroom. So I pointed, like, hey, use the bathroom. She goes, no, I'm just in here. I'm like, okay, that's fucking weird. But I'm like, okay. So she goes, I can wait for it. I go, okay. So I go back out the car. I'm like, fuck it. Apparently I'm making people nervous by standing in the lobby. So I go back out in the car, and I'm waiting, and 5 or 6 more minutes roll by. And finally I see the guy come walking out, and instead of handing her the bag, or her taking the bag from the counter, he comes out from the counter, he comes out, and he walks out first, and she follows behind him in the door. I don't see him talk to her at all. And he hands him the bag in the window, and basically hands the stuff, and he goes, there you go. And I like, okay, she walks out, she's getting in the back seat of the car. And I go, no, say sorry, it took so long, nothing. The guy goes, what'd you say to me? And I just said, no, like, sorry it took so long, like, sorry for the delay, nothing. And he got pissed and gets dirty ass look and stormed back inside. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. So she gets in the car and we leave. And I was immensely confused on why she came in. I had no idea what that was about, but that was super weird. So, because my thought was, if she was going to stand, I wasn't the 2 of us going to stand there both. And she had to wait for my bag, because had she not came in, I would have stood there, and I thought she was going to take the bag from across the counter and walk out to the car. But apparently she was there just to watch him walk out to the car. I have no idea what that was about. So that was really confusing. But get in the car, and I look at the GPS time, and it took us 38 minutes from when we ordered, which was probably 10 minutes before we got our order in. So we lost 48 minutes. So the order of Popeyes, 48 minutes. So now we lost our 48 minutes was the time we were going to be looking at art in the art gallery before the show. So I'm like, oh, what the hell? So we drove over, ate our food. Food was fine. It was not great, but it's Popeyes. So get our food, we drive over. And again, it was like $50 for 4 people, which is not nothing, but it's not free either. You know, it's just not cheap anymore. So I get that. So we get there, can't find parking. Parking lots are all full, because now we're like an hour later. We should have been. And I was like, shit, okay. So we're walking around. So I dropped them off in front of the venue where the show's at, because now we're in that weird time frame of who knows what. So I drive to the other parking lot. It's also full. End up finding parking on the street a little ways away. So I head back up and meet them, and they'd already bought tickets and stuff, which is great. Well, that's good to go. And I'm like, hey, the art gallery thing is on that side of the park. We gotta walk across the galley and stuff and across the yard, but it won't be that big a deal. We can go grab some, you know, if you want to do it, we got to get there and get back. And the son and the girlfriend both walk really slow. So I'm losing time going, God, it's going to be pushing it. Like, it's going to be tight. So we decided we're going to wait. And then basically we went and watched the first show. After the first show, we had enough time. Luckily, the first show was short. We had enough time between to walk over to the art gallery, check out the art, head back over, check out my buddy's show. Actually talked to him before the show, chat with him a little bit. And he's performing tonight. We had a nice little chat. And then showtime come, we watched the show. His show was amazing. Had a wonderful time with it. And then from there, we basically got home, and I don't think they spoke all the way home. Like, they're not talking to people, I get that, but like, we didn't have any conversation. So Karen and I talked some, and then I basically put on my headphones and just listened to what they listened to music, and I listened to a podcast and just kind of chilled out. Got back, dropped them off at the house they're staying at, and then got back to the house, and I was like, yeah, hung up for a while. So got the dogs out and got myself a cigar, enjoyed the evening. Beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous weather. So I got that chilled out, and then went in, had myself a snack. My brain was just on. I couldn't turn my brain off. So I made myself a nice scotch and enjoyed my cigar. And then as I headed in, I had a little snack of some honey roasted peanuts and had a nice little deal. Watched a little bit of Hulu. Wife was zonked out. She woke up when I came in, but barely. And she was right back to sleep again. So yeah, that's pretty much what my day was. So that's all I got for now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.